Hello, I'm back. It's after the holidays. I thought I would sort of sit down. I'm a little pressed for time, kinda, so I didn't necessarily want to go into any single review. So I kind of wanted to go into some of my recent acquisitions here. This is even all of them. Hello, Jack. Jack is here. Hi, bud. You want to say hi to everyone? Go lay down, buddy. Go lay down. Thought I'd talk about my recent acquisitions here, with some mini reviews, and kind of talk about what I've been watching recently. I haven't watched every single one of these films, but thought I'd say some about them, and make maybe a little bit of a video that doesn't really necessarily need to be edited until I do another review, which some of these movies I probably will do more in-depth reviews about because I have a lot to say about them. And so this is going to be generally what I've watched, what I'm want to watch, what I plan for January, because there's a cool letterbox thing going on that I learned about today. So I have to, it's the day of the second. I don't know if this goes up the second or then tomorrow. I don't know. A little bit of a tangent. My headlight bulb is out in my car right now, so I have to take it to the shop because the way that it's aftermarket headlights, I can't just twist it off and put the light bulb in and take it out. I have to take it to a shop so they can take the entire headlight unit out and then replace the bulb and then put it back in, which requires taking off the bumper and some of the siding of the car, and I just don't have the patience nor the tools nor the space for that because I live in an apartment. So that was something I had to deal with this morning. Then I went to the gym and had a nice little morning. Got some coffee in me. The first thing I kind of want to talk about is a movie I watched yesterday, the 2023, I believe, Toxic Avenger. This movie was kind of in, distribution hell for a little bit. I think it kind of showed in film festivals in 2023, and then it looks like Cineverse picked it up. Cineverse Bloody Disgusting Screenbox, and it's a legendary film, which is kind of interesting, which I'm kind of surprised they didn't distribute it if they put money into this. Some people, I think the thing that was kind of going around was that this movie was too gory and people didn't want to distribute it. So that's why it's the unrated version. I think this movie is kind of bad. And I think that's why it didn't get distributed, because it's not that great. The editing is really weird. It holds back it a lot. A lot of the humor falls flat for me. And there's not even a whole lot of gore. If you've seen the teaser trailer for this film that they released on YouTube a while ago, slightly before I got this release, and when it played in theaters, because I had picked up a distributor, that scene when he goes into I think the Miss Meat is called what it's called, Miss Meat or Mrs. Meat, and he kills those dudes that are holding it up. That's about the goriest part. There's some other sections he rips a dude's arm off, but it's not nearly as gory as I thought it would, be. It takes 35 minutes to even get to the Toxic Avenger stuff, Peter Dinklage character, and I don't know who plays the small kid in this. It might be Jacob Tremblay. I don't know. That's a name that sounds familiar. I could be completely wrong on that. They try to set up this thing where he's kind of a stepfather, but the kid's mom dies, and so he's taking care of her kid, and they try to do stuff with that, and it kind of falls flat and doesn't really have any emotional resonance, and it just feels hey, we gotta get through all this stuff really, really fast. So I wanted to like this movie more than I did. There's a lot of ADR lines that fall flat for me. It feels scenes weren't funny enough, and so they went back with ADR and just ADR'd a shit ton of lines, and it still didn't make it funny. So I was very disappointed in this film, which is kind of unfortunate, and that's really all I have to say about it. There's no point in really doing a longer review of this, so I thought I'd just do something right there. This is probably a movie that'll get a longer review. The Innocents is from 1961, has Deborah Kerr in it. Fantastic atmosphere. I highly recommend watching this movie. I don't know when I'll film the review. I plan on sitting down Sunday and probably filming a couple of videos about various movies in the stack, because I have the time to do it. But I highly recommend. This is kind of a hard movie to find. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere. There's a reason I bought this Blu-ray. It was fairly cheap. I think it was like $20 when I found it for a Criterion release. This specific Criterion release looks like it came out in 2014. At least the first printing was 2014. I don't know if this is still in print. It still might be. But yeah, I think I'm going to go a little bit deeper into this film because there's a lot of cool stuff in it. So I'll kind of leave it at that. Highly recommend this movie. It's a very good kind of, I think it calls it a psychosexual thriller. Yeah, psychosexual intensified adaptation of The Turn of the Screw. Yeah, highly recommend. It's a very good, like, kind of haunted house-esque movie, but also like a really good, like, psychological thriller. This is a film that I purchased from Arrow, along with, I don't have that one in my stack. Where did that go? But I got these 3 films. I might as well just talk about them all at the same time. One of these is getting a review for sure, and that's Trash Humpers, a film by Harmony Korine, a movie that I caught on the Criterion channel late at night. It's not on there anymore, unfortunately, but I caught it there late at night, and it feels like a fever dream, and I can't really remember much about it, even though I didn't see it that long ago. So I really want to watch it again. And then I learned that Umbrella had a Blu-ray, and I have a region-free DVD player, which is very, very nice. And so yeah, I'm very excited to watch this again. I'm probably going to do a review on this because it's so bizarre and abstract. So yeah, this is a very, very weird movie, and if you like weird movies, I recommend watching Trash Humpers. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere anymore since it's off like Criterion Channel. There's like a DVD that exists that's a Region A. Obviously, Umbrella has a Region B, so if you have a region-free Blu-ray player, you can go and get that. They had like a buy one, get one sale. Buy one, get one, like 50% off or something. And so the second one I got for that was this movie called The Beast. I believe it's a French movie, Le Beat. I don't know if that's how I said it. A black comedy of sexual manners set around an arranged wedding to occur on the grounds of an elegant chateau. It calls it a Wallerin Brochowski Brochitz. Sorry, it's CZYK. I don't know enough about the language that how to properly pronounce that. I kind of have a weird. Can I show the? This is probably all I show. I think the reverse cover has like maybe some stuff that would get me in trouble for YouTube. I kind of have a weird. We'll talk about houseboat horror. Most of these movies I bought on a whim, so I don't have a whole lot. I just had a weird story with this that I figured out that I learned about after the fact, after I had bought this, and I went, oh, I saw the original poster. I went, oh my god, I know what this movie is. I just really, really liked the art cover, and I read the description of the movie, and I'm like, well, why not? Some of the other movies in the stack will maybe make a little bit more sense, but this was on Netflix a really, really, really long time ago, and I had stumbled upon it, and it looked like a little werewolf movie. So I'm like, oh, werewolf movie, I'll watch the werewolf movie. And this movie has a lot of sex in it, and I believe my grandma walked in on me watching this. I'm like, oh, I didn't know, and I really didn't. And so yeah, this will be interesting watching this again as an adult. So yeah, that'll be very interesting. And then Houseboat Horror, the cover looked really interesting. I think it was like really, really cheap. So yeah, why not? I'll pick it up. And it says, before Tommy Wiseau into the room and James Nguyen took flight with Birdemic, Ollie Martin welcomed audiences aboard with Houseboat Horror. It seems that they're filming a music video and a killer shows up to start killing them. And so they mentioned The Room and Birdemic, so I'm guessing this is like a so bad it's good movie. No clue. But there's a tagline on here. Yeah. This horrifying flick contains nudity and knockout Brian Mannix song hits. Brian Mannix is a name that sounds familiar, but I couldn't quite place it. And apparently this was banned in Queensland. So yeah, kind of interested about that. Then we can get to, I guess, the Vinegar Syndrome stuff I bought. I will talk about all but one of the Vinegar Syndrome releases I got, because I don't even want to begin to talk about that movie, especially on here. So I got volume 1 and 2 of the films of uh, Hisayasu Sato, which was, he's like, I haven't watched any of these yet. I do plan on watching them soon. But, oh, Pinku Line. I think it literally just says Pinku Line in Japanese up there. So if you don't know anything about Pinku film, this is kind of something that I've been a little bit fascinated with recently. They're essentially a bunch of like erotic films that kind of cropped up in like the late 60s into the 70s, kind of persisted throughout the 70s, and I think ended in like kind of the early 80s, because the like Japanese film was so under, like, money was kind of getting siphoned away because of television, and there was just kind of this cropping up of these erotic movies, and it's kind of fascinating to me because I understand in America why that kind of happened, because you have like the Hays Code and like the restriction of movies, and a lot of blacklisting when you get into like the communist era, and so once all these restrictions are lifted, it kind of makes more sense that we would get into exploitation films because people can kind of explore film a little bit more. It's no longer in its infancy, and you can kind of explore those topics. With Japanese film, I have no idea. There's a book called Through the Pink Curtain that I really want to read. So I just kind of a fascination, and I just kind of want to see what it's like. I watched one film that I got from Arrow, and it kind of sucked. It wasn't the best movie, but it's something that I have a weird fascination with now. And these come with like a little booklet, so I'm kind of hoping it goes into the history a little bit more. So, yeah, I have not watched any of these yet. I do, as I said, I have so many fucking movies I have to get through, but those really seem fascinating to me. Another one, if anyone watched Red Letter Media, Devil's Story was like a best of the worst movie that they highly recommended. I can't remember if it was a spotlight episode or if it was just like a random episode. I can't remember. And I saw, they have it, Vinegar Syndrome has it on Blu-ray. And so I picked that up. It seems very, very interesting. And it's only 76 minutes, which is awesome. I got New York Ninja. I accidentally got 2 copies of New York Ninja. But this is essentially Vinegar Syndrome bought out. I wonder if it says on the back here. It was originally in 1994, production with... Okay, so this was originally filmed in 1984. It never got released. It was just 35 millimeter negatives, and Vinegar Syndrome acquired the company, like all the company stuff, and they found New York Ninja mixed in with that. So but it was missing an audio track, so they got like kind of period accurate people to come in and dub this movie. This was another spotlight, I believe, for Best of the Worst on Red Letter Media. But I mainly just wanted it because it's a cool little story of this little film getting saved and all the effort and work that got put into this film to re-release it, essentially. There's a little documentary on... Yeah, extended making of documentary with the cast and crew. So yes, I'm kind of excited to watch this as well. I kind of want to watch this with people, so I might like watch this with my girlfriend. I got National Treasure 1 and 2. This was kind of a interesting thing of my dad got an extra copy, and this is something he got for Christmas, and they're like, yeah, here you go. And so I have the National Treasure movies. It's been forever since I've seen these. This Blu-ray release is kind of interesting because National Treasure 1 is region free, but National Treasure 2 is specifically region B. Which I've never seen that before in a single Blu-ray pack, where one of them's region free, but the other one is like specifically B. So that's kind of interesting. It's been forever since I've seen these movies, so I don't really have much to say on them. I got some John Candy movies. This was a gift from my dad. I kind of casually mentioned where I was like, oh yeah, I haven't really watched much John Candy stuff. And so he got me this little thing of Uncle Buck and the Great Outdoors, which looks like Macaulay Culkin, so I'm guessing that's Macaulay Culkin. Haven't watched any of these either, but I'm excited to watch those. Pulp Fiction. Finally have a copy of Pulp Fiction. I'm missing 2 directed and written by Quentin Tarantino movies, unless you count Death Proof. I don't know if Death Proof is like included with that kind of with that stuff, but I'm missing Pulp Fiction and I'm missing Kill Bill 1 and 2. But I'm just gonna wait. I watched the whole Bloody Affair in theaters not that long ago. I didn't really feel like making a movie or like a video on it. I probably can't say much that hasn't already been said about Kill Bill. But it was great. I guess I'd never seen Volume 2 before. I thought I had seen parts of Volume 2, but as I was watching it, the first one started, and it plays that scene where she goes to that, I can't remember her code name, but she goes to her house, and they fight each other, and the little kid comes home. I'm like, oh, I thought that was like the opening of Volume 2, but it's just you kind of flash back to the Lucy Liu character from that point. And so I went, oh, maybe I just haven't seen Volume 2, and that just happened to be the case. And so eventually they said that they're going to release that on 4K, the whole Bloody Affair. So I'm just going to wait to get that. And I'm missing Jackie Brown. I have not seen Jackie Brown, and I have not seen Reservoir Dogs, which I have on my shelf over there. I just haven't sat down and watched it yet. But it's been forever since I watched Pulp Fiction, so I'm very excited to rewatch that. Which is this? That's the Black Christmas. Hold on. I guess I can talk about, this is the bag for Black Christmas. I think, yeah, it's over there. I watched that with my girlfriend recently, before Christmas. Black Christmas really holds up. That might get a review. Not 100% sure yet. But it's one of my favorite, like, kind of non-Christmas movies. Kind of like I rewatched Batman Returns with my family. It's kind of an awkward movie to watch with your family. It's very weird. It's very kind of interesting to talk about in a lot of ways. I don't think I'll do a review on it, but it's something I love Batman Returns. So I got King Kong Lives. Dio De Laurentiis presents King Kong Lives. This is the second of the 80s King Kongs. And I guess at this point I'm just going to try to collect all the King Kongs, but there's another movie on this pile, Young Gary. They were right next to each other. This was like $5. So I was like, why not? I haven't seen any of the 80s King Kong stuff. I know that's when they went to a guy in a suit. So it's got Linda Hamilton in it. But yeah, so I'm excited to watch an 80s King Kong movie to see how it is. Yeah, I think this is like a sequel to the first 80s King Kong movie, I believe. So, maybe I'll go hunt down the first one. But we get to Young Gary. I did watch this film. It's a South Korean kaiju film that was released in 1967. So kind of the height of the kaiju boom. And where is his name? Kaizo Maruse, which he made a movie called Brush of God last year. He since has passed away, unfortunately, but he's done some model work on kaiju films of the 60s during the kaiju boom. This is a kind of interesting film because this only exists in an English dub capacity. Because I turned on the movie and they started doing an English dub and I went, oh, I don't want to watch the English dub. I never really watch English dubs for foreign films because I think they're awful. I feel like you just like lose a lot of the performance of the actor when you do an English dub, and most of the time it just sounds stilted and unnatural. I just think for the most part they're bad. But this only exists in English dub because the film company that made this, when they sent over the negative, well, my bad, when they went to go send over the film to, I believe they're working with Toei from what I've read, as a middleman between them and America, because Toei probably just had more experience sending over films like that. But they sent them the original negative with the original sound, and so they re-edited the original negative and redubbed over the sound, and so this doesn't really exist in its original capacity anymore. And there's a lot of stuff that I don't like about this film that might be fixed with a original cut. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Because there's literally a scene where they're standing in front of this dude, and like it's like a military guy, and I can't remember exactly what context it is because this movie is already kind of leaving my mind. Even as I talk about it, there's a dance scene with Young Gary that's really weird, and this movie also doesn't end when you expect it. Usually it's like, oh, they kill the monster, they say a line, movie ends. There's like a whole like press conference after the fact that just fucking end it. It's like 80 minutes. They really need to stretch to that 80 minutes. And then you have like, there's like a weird dance scene that's like, comes out of nowhere and it's very unmotivated. And I think they were just trying to, because what, this is 67. So I think like stuff like Invasion of the Astro Monster would have been out by then. Yeah, because I think that was 65 or 66. And so like stuff like Invasion of the Astro Monster would have been out, I guess, where you have the Shie Godzilla. I have a figure of that up there on my shelf. But it just feels so unmotivated. And it just randomly happens. But yeah, it's okay. It's nothing really to write home about. I've seen better. I'm just going to talk about my Arrow releases kind of collectively. This is a bunch of Pete Goo film essentially that I got as a part of Arrow's sale. There's like a 3.5 hour long movie on this. This is like a pack of 3. Let's see, Arrows plus Massacre, Heroes Purgatory, and Coup d'etat, I believe, are the 3 films on this. Yes. So yeah, just more kind of like Pinku films that I kind of picked up for cheap. So one of these I'll have to watch soon because there's a thing called Japanuary that I guess a person on Letterboxd has been doing for a really long time, for the last couple of years, where it's like essentially a long list. It's like, hey, on this day, watch a movie by this director. I'm going to be a little late because I just learned about it today, but thankfully I'm not too late where I can't catch up. Where it's like, watch on the first day, watch a Shinya Tsukamoto film or another director that I can't remember. And today is another director. And like later on, it turns into more genres and there's like bonus categories you can swap out stuff with. And so I think that'll be interesting. Speaking of interesting, City on Fire. I watched this before I went on my vacation back home for Christmas. Criterion has a bunch of Ringo Lam movies. Okay, actually, I shouldn't say a bunch. They have a Ringo Lam section, and it says City on Fire, Prison on Fire, School on Fire, and more. The and more is Prison on Fire 2. And so it's a little unfortunate. But I was having a conversation with somebody, and they were talking about Prison on Fire. And I went, oh, that's kind of sounds like an interesting movie. And he's like, they do interesting things with cigarettes, because there's a scene where Chow Yun-fat, he's in this film and that one. I don't think he's on School on Fire. They're cleaning out like the septic, like sewer area, and to cover up the smell, he has like a cigarette in each of his nose and a cigarette in his mouth to help like cover up the smell. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll check that out. And they're like, he told me to watch City on Fire first because it's technically a kind of a trilogy. I think they call it like a series. I don't know. He's like, watch City on Fire first. So I watched City on Fire. I really, really like this film. I kind of want to rewatch it and maybe do a review on it because this movie rules. It's such a good action movie. It's a good drama. Chow Yun-fat is slowly becoming like one of my favorite actors, especially in like Prison on Fire. There's some stuff on Prison on Fire. Maybe I'll do a video. Like, I think this is a talking about video or whatever I call that series. Recent acquisitions, maybe. But I might do like a let's talk about / review on maybe just like the whole On Fire trilogy. I kind of want to talk about City, Prison, and School, because Prison on Fire 2 came after School on Fire. But maybe if I have the time to watch both, I'll just sit down and watch both and just talk about the entire series. But this is a very good movie, and I highly recommend City on Fire. If you have the Criterion channel, it's on the Criterion channel. And I'm sure it's in other places as well. This Shout Factory Hong Kong Classics is really cool. I found this one for 30. I think it was like $30. For a 4K, it's not too bad. I found this for about $30. But then you have like stuff like Hard Boiled. Also has Chow Yun-fat in it. Can't remember the director's name off the top of my head. I'm actually going to go see that in theaters. They're releasing The Killer, Hard Boiled, and one other movie I can't remember. I can never remember the title of in theaters. And so I get to go see that on the 25th, I believe. I kind of hate the varying prices for these films because you have City on Fire, and then they're going to release Prison on Fire 1 and 2, which I think is only slightly higher than this. And for 2 movies, not too bad. And they're 4K. But like Hard Boiled, I think is like only exist like as a $50 version, and it's like a special edition, and it's just like, yeah, just like give me something like this, and I could pay $30 and have Hard Boiled on a 4K. But I digress. Moving on, Mouth of Madness. We're kind of getting into a little horror section here, I guess. In the Mouth of Madness, another gift I got, this beautiful 4K Arrow release. This is, we'll be getting a review 100%. I have a lot to say about this movie. I can't say good enough things about this film. And so I'll kind of just leave it at that because I'm definitely going to make a video about this. Highly recommend In the Mouth of Madness, one of my favorite John Carpenter movies. Exorcist 3. This is a thing I keep seeing clips from. George C. Scott and Brad Dourif are in this. And I've been wanting this 4K for a really, really long time, and I found it for a good price. So I picked it up and haven't watched it yet. I might film something on it. I don't know at this point in time, but I'm very happy to have this in my collection now. And then finally, the last thing I'll talk about in this video before I wrap up, I have the Omen collection, which I believe is all of them that I know of. The very first one all the way to the remake, I think of 2016? 2006. Oh, 2006. It's kind of funny. This Omen the Awakening, this is like the only Blu-ray version of it, as far as I understand, that exists in this pack. I don't know a whole lot about The Omen. I just know it seems, speaking of Mouth of Madness, Sam Neill is in the third one, Final Conflict. I don't know if you can really see that. I'm kind of like poking these out. But yeah, all 5 Omen movies, and I found this for fairly cheap. And I think this is out of print now, so I'm kind of glad I was able to pick it up. But yeah, I don't think I have much to say. More kind of in-depth videos will be coming very soon. More kind of like reviews when I start like getting through some of this stuff. But I definitely have at least 2 or 3 planned right now. In the Mouth of Madness, I want to talk about Angel's Egg. I wanted to film a video about it after I saw it in theaters, but it took me a while to get all my gear that I have right now. And so I'm just going to kind of rewatch it on 4K and make a video. It's like only like a 70-minute video or movie. So I have a lot to say about Angel's Egg and Trash Humpers. Those are definitely the 3 I have planned right now. So I'll probably film them on Sunday and like slowly release them throughout the week. I don't know. That's if I get around to it and feel like it. I never want this to feel like a chore. The Blossom Shanghai stuff might be postponed until further notice because I don't know. It was a really good show and I'm kind of invested into it and I kind of want to watch more. But I'm also watching a bunch of other stuff right now. Like I just started Star Trek Enterprise. I'm like halfway through the Avatar series. So yeah. But yeah, if you want me to talk about maybe any of these films in depth that I've talked about today, they're all facing that way so you can't see them. Really good on my part. And so if any of these movies you want me to talk about a little bit more in depth, I guess, leave a comment down below. And yeah, I'll see you probably, I don't know which one I'm going to film or release first. Those are probably going to have a little bit more editing because I want to put in clips and stills and all that kind of stuff, kind of like what I did with Five Nights at Freddy's. I want the reviews to be a little bit more edited, or then I can have these where I kind of sit down, barely any editing, and just kind of upload stuff quickly as a kind of mini update. Especially I don't think I've uploaded in like 2 weeks. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye bye.